Cannery workers on strike over wages. APEC delegates catch culture in Alotau. And more awareness needed on biosecurity in PNG.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thank you for joining me with Monday's news. Customs officials in Madang have destroyed more than 30,000 kina worth of counterfeit products. The products were confiscated from various Asian-owned businesses in Madang following a series of inspections. This is one of several batches of items destroyed in the last 7 days in the Mamasa region.
The counterfeit products include hair creams, coconut oils and hair relaxer kits. The products came in different quantities. Nearly all had labeling similar to popular brands being sold in supermarkets. Customs officials found the products after conducting inspections in Madang.
Our products are similar to various Chinese shops done by officers who were conducting the inspections. And inside the one box, 12 pieces each of various hair creams and oil. The hair creams are counterfeit, and the oil got right low salimol disla.
Customs Sport Manager for Madang, Vina Kakai, says the hair creams are potentially dangerous. It is understood many of the products don't undergo proper checks and stand to cause serious hair damage if applied for extended periods.
The oil would have no effect on people using it. However, the cream would have an impact on women, especially women using it. Over a period of time, their hair will start to fall off and eventually they'll be left with no hair.
The fake products were taken out of the town area and burned. The customs officers in Madang are also carrying out awareness for the general public to check products before buying them.
We plan to conduct a combined awarenesses consisting, and the agencies combined would be Customs, PNG Customs, ANACARE, MULLG and ICCC in November and December to try and minimize the importation of such items through inspection and taking them, of the items on the shelves in the shops and taking them off the shelves.
Martha Louise, National EMTV News, Madang.
Over 2,000 staff from the Frabel Cannery company went on strike today following grievances over their pay and working conditions. According to the staff, most of them have been working for years, receiving little to no increase in their pay. Today they presented a petition to their management. They have resolved to stay out of work until a positive response is given. This was the scene outside the Frabel factory this morning. Frustrated workers gathered on the street and marched to the company's gates to present their petition to the management.
Management supposed to respond to me now. Now all Bamol workmen increasing by 1 to 2 to. This is garbages.
Staff from the engineering department were also upset by the company's decision to make Sunday an official work day.
Sunday will be the first official day of work, which is in time to worship.
Most of the staff are being paid a minimum wage of 3 kina 50 toya per hour, with little to no increase in their wages. Staff have also claimed that safety gears aren't provided by the company. Barnabas Dungu works in the factory. His fingers were chopped off whilst handling equipment. His medical bills were taken from his pay. Representatives from the Labour Department were present. However, staff demanded to be addressed by the management. The Cannery's General Manager Melinda Radugos refused to speak with the media. The workers have given the company's management 2 days to respond to the petition. If a response is not given by Wednesday, further action which has not been made known will be taken. Lucy Kopana, National EMTV News, Leh. 13 election petitions were mentioned at the National Court in Port Moresby today. These are election-related matters. Most were filed by losing candidates in the 2017 National General Election. They include petitions filed by former Goroka MP Biraki Misopa, former Wewak MP Jim Simatab, and former Sohe MP Delilah Gore. These cases are based on allegations of discrepancies during the polling and counting periods. They were mentioned for directions hearing before Justice Colin McKyle at the Court of Disputed Returns. So far, there are 77 election petitions filed at the Courts of Disputed Returns. APEC delegates who attended the Transport Ministers' meeting last week were given a glimpse of PNG culture when they visited Alotau yesterday. Their host, Deputy Prime Minister Charles Abel. Alotau is one of the venues where lead-up APEC meeting will be held before the main event in November 2018.
Delegates from 17 out of 21 nations that attended the 10th APEC Transport Ministers' meeting arrived in Alotau on Sunday to experience the Melanesian culture, to be more specific, the Milne Bay Way. The VIP guests were greeted by cultural groups, a boat cruise on the beautiful waters of Alotau, and an inspection of artifacts. Deputy Prime Minister Charles Abel said the Prime Minister is determined to have APEC delegates experience the Melanesian culture.
Talking about having a Melanesian flavour and a Papua New Guinea flavour to the APEC meetings that are coming, and we very much want to colour the occasion with that culture and represent our diversity and our beautiful people in your respective areas.
He also talked on the transport difficulties Alotau faces and what he hopes his province will get out of the APEC meetings.
The issues that confront us here in Milne Bay in terms of transportation are a reflection of the wider issues, I would say, in Papua New Guinea because of the geographical challenges in our country. Whether those challenges may be large maritime areas with huge distances between that also confront other Pacific Island nations, or whether it's the challenge of the mountainous terrain that we have.
The Deputy Prime Minister also said to promote tourism and trade, they have many challenges. The majority of Milne Bay people live in a very difficult terrain, which can only be accessed by foot from the nearest national road.
It's important in the dialogues that happen around all the different sectoral issues that there is an understanding of that diversity and those challenges, so that, as I was again saying today, in these approaches we make sure that these different factors and circumstances are taken into account, so that the people of Papua New Guinea, for example, and the other nations, but in my case in Papua New Guinea, we want to develop an economy that's fully inclusive.
Adelaide Kari, National, EMTV News.
Over 300,000 grade 10 students in Papua New Guinea have completed their mathematics and personal development examinations today. They will sit the social science paper tomorrow. The grade 10 national exam begins today and will conclude this Friday.
In Port Moresby, students from at least 10 secondary schools have completed the first two papers today. Mathematics in the morning and personal development in the afternoon. We visited St. Charles Luanga at Gero Stage 2, where students were into the final hour of their first paper. St. Charles is a Catholic-run school. It was once a vocational center, but converted to a secondary school because of the increase in student population continuing to grades 9 and 10. It is one of the only two government schools in the Gero area. The school has close to 1,000 students, from which 208 are grade 10s. It was a smooth start for both exams for the students here. Examinations commenced at 8:25 in the morning for the first paper and concluded on time at 11:25. These exams are supervised by two external invigilators from Gero Secondary School. Thekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
Public servants who are postgraduate students attending UPNG School of Business say the programs will help them realign their duties. The master's students spoke to EMTV News during the presentation of a 5,000 kina funding from Telecom this afternoon. The sponsorship will go towards the Pinnacle Summit in November.
This will be the 14th batch to showcase their skills during the University of Papua New Guinea's Executive Masters in Business Administration Pinnacle 2017 in Port Moresby in November. The class is a motley crew of public servants, company workers, and the odd self-sponsored student.
I'll be completing my studies this year, and I've undertaken the program for full-time, and this will be my last year.
With the country facing budget shortfalls, staff upskilling is seen as a measure towards buoyancy.
Initiative by the department, the secretary has wanted everybody in the management level to have a master's degree. As such, we at the management level, myself as the deputy secretary, and the other two FAS, we've signed up to undertake this program.
The meeting will be a public display of skill and mastery in research topic presentations and debates. It will also show how the university is progressing towards achieving international standards.
November 2nd, we will be hosting a Pinnacle. That will be also, there are two things that this Pinnacle is trying to advertise or promote. One is to market this program to potential organizations, to send their officers to be able to prepare themselves for the executive role. You know, all the managers or executive CEOs will not be in the same position for life. They have to see the succession plan. And the other objective is to promote the students or market the students who are undertaking this program.
This afternoon, Telecom PNG donated 5,000 kina towards the program. The telecommunications company also has a sponsored student attending the program. Hagen, National EMTV News.
National EMTV News continues after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. More than 20,000 people from Jimmy in Jiwaka Province will benefit from a 34-kilometre road upgrading project that was recently launched. This project is part of Jimmy Electorate's 80-day action plan to coincide with the national government's 100 days work plan. The project will cost Jimmy District Development Authority 5 million kina.
Last Thursday, Jimmy MP Wakegoi officiated at the groundbreaking ceremony, the 34-kilometre Karab-to-Kol road. For Jimmy people, it was their first time after 30 years to hold a groundbreaking ceremony. The 5 million kina road upgrade project was awarded to Kaya Works civil engineering contractors who are known for upgrading the Simbu section of the Highlands Highway.
Money got also big black company only got name long and me asking me no got money. That's all me got road to plan maslo. Make him no got. Me coco come up. Na me come up Kaya Works. Now la mas.
During the groundbreaking ceremony, the local MP outlined his 80 days of impact projects for Jimmy Electorate. First was the upgrading of the Karab-to-Kol road, which will be delivered under the District Development Authority Services funds. The second impact project is to secure space for grade 12 school leavers at teachers and nursing colleges. A rural health post, Tabibuka, will be upgraded to rural hospital. Work has already started for those projects, but funding is still a concern for progress. 3 more council wards have been created, and its first LLG president election will start at the end of this month.
All line by me go down lo na all by all him election blongol na all by makim nubla president blongol. Next year council election all yet by conducting tamblo.
Almost 85% of Jimmy's population use air transport as the main mode of transport. Goy says he wants to improve the roads in Jimmy and make new roads to connect the vast and mountainous electorates. Vasanata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
3 weeks after announcing plans to reopen Kirawagi airstrip, groundwork has started. Kirawagi MP Barry Palmer says the airstrip is one of the services to be established to make Kirawagi an economic hub. Kaya Works Limited is carrying out scoping for the airstrip.
The Kirawagi airstrip was originally opened in 1938. It was one of the oldest airstrips back then. However, it was closed in 1968. Kirawagi MP Barry Palmer and the district administration are now in the process of reopening this vital service to serve the people.
Extreme economic corridor where our business na economy by grow inside of Kirawagi. Na ba attractive all Jiwaga na Naralab all district of Simbulo Kamog in business of Kirawagi.
MP Palmer believes the airstrip will be effective in connecting the people through agriculture, produce and SMEs. He says other services the district is aiming to build include electricity and water supply.
Road, power line, water, airport, and all very important infrastructure of business.
Private company Kaya Works Limited has been engaged to do the scoping. 100,000 kina was presented for initial groundwork. The district administration wants all stakeholders to cooperate to have the airstrip reopened.
People administration by work, Kaya Works by work, Chief Pilot and by work, people all get up by work one time. You too, you start around airstrip. You too come now by work one time. Now this airstrip by work start.
With clearance of the runway going ahead, Outback Aviation, a third-level airline company, is set to make its first flight at the end of this month.
You grab nongo na but the big blood giant airstrip land like singa the many gini kam. And but no man bla all man bago 1 week na short. Nemba airstrips libo sa kundiawan. So by me walk lo stage by stage.
Despite the airstrip situated on state land, locals who have gardens on the fringes of the airstrip will be compensated. Many have welcomed the decision to see one of the oldest airstrips in Simbu reopened.
First plus service of I'm looking at my strip I'll go about some people man Mary Blackawagi, people are must not thank you.
Jack Lopava Jr. National EMTV News.
Scientists at the National Agriculture Research Institute, or NARI, say a lot of awareness is still needed to educate communities on the risk of transferring plant material from one garden to another. The common traditional practice is a contributing factor to heightened biosecurity concerns in the country. NARI's Dr. Sim Sar says a lot of work still needs to be done and community support is needed.
On a larger scale, biosecurity is an international cross-border issue, a serious concern on many levels for governments. Within the country, biosecurity is a matter that also affects small communities in a big way. NARI entomologist Dr. Sim Sar says sharing plant materials in villages, an age-old practice, is primarily responsible for the transmission of plant diseases that kill crops.
People don't really take note of the risk involved in transferring planting material or a livestock from one area to the other. And because we share.
Over the years, crops like buai and coconut have suffered from plant diseases that have been transmitted from one location to another.
That's a village setting, but when people go into commercial farming, that is when we realize the value of biosecurity.
Another important crop that has also suffered from disease transmission has been the taro. NARI's taro expert Jeffrey Waki worked for 5 years to develop taro that would withstand pest and disease.
The source of diseases or pests can be the planting material, or it can also be the soil that you transfer your planting material to plant.
But the lack of awareness remains NARI's biggest challenge. Scott Waide, National EMTV News, Leh.
27 provincial fisheries officers have successfully completed 2 new courses introduced by the KVM Fisheries College. College Principal Jeff Finch says the college continues to strive and produce specialists who can help improve the fisheries sector. A new library and computer lab were also opened on the same occasion.
KVM Fisheries College is the only institution providing technical help in the country's fisheries sector. The 27 officers who are from different provinces now have the qualification to advance in supporting and build the fishing sector. The head of the college says research is the new dimension the institution aims to provide with the support of NFA.
We're trying to respond to the requirements of the fishing sector in PNG at all levels, from the village community person to the person that just wants to sell better quality fish at the market, to cooperatives, to SMEs.
The programs introduced are in the field of aquaculture, which covers certificate in fisheries governance and compliance. These programs are funded by the National Fisheries Authority to advance the current level of qualification.
So the college will eventually evolve into doing some research. And I think for every one of us, it's the most important thing to discover what's out there that we could do.
The college is also making attempts to improve its learning facilities. Following the graduation, the college witnessed the opening of its new library and computer lab.
The library is for training purposes for the college as we continue to increase the courses, but it is also to be a resource centre for the people of New Ireland to access as well.
The new library replaces the old one, which was gutted by fire. The cells are not fully stocked as yet, but resources are coming. The facility is also using e-books to support teaching and research.
Material is for the staff or the trainers to use to extract information and prepare it to meet the teaching program.
This year, the college will also celebrate 40 years of operating. Jack Lopave Jr., National EMTV News.
It's good news for air travelers into Kieta's Aropa Airport in the autonomous region of Bougainville. Air Niugini will be resuming its FOCA services. Air Niugini Chief Executive Officer Simon Fu has announced services will be operated by FOCA 70 and 100. However, services will resume once the precision approach path indicators lights are installed by the National Airports Corporation.
Since Aropa Airport Kieta was reopened in 2014, it has been operated by the Dashi Q400 aircraft. However, recently, Air Niugini made a decision to temporarily suspend services into Aropa Kieta. This is because precision approach path indicators or PAPI lights were yet to be installed. PAPI lights are a visual aid which provides guidance, information to help a pilot acquire and maintain the correct landing approach.
Installation of navigation lights and PAPI lights, we have stopped flying at the moment to Kieta. Once the NAC and the Arab government gets into gear to put into the right facilities, we will resume as soon as possible.
However, Mr. Fu says the ongoing dialogue between airport authorities with the autonomous Bougainville government has produced some positive outcomes.
And I believe that with the help of your members in Arab, we have been able to get some sort of deadline now to move into resume jet operations.
Mr. Fu says domestic services are operated by FOCA 70 and FOCA 100 together with Dashi 315 and 200 series aircrafts operated by its subsidiary Link PNG. Fabian Haklitz, National EMTV News.
And now looking at our finance news, the kina closed unchanged at $0.3125 US in the interbank markets. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.305 US, $0.3883 Australian dollars, $0.2559 euro, and 33.94 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, coffee, and cocoa closed higher, while copra closed the day lower. Palm oil and crude oil closed higher, while copper is trading the day lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 1.72 points lower, the ASX closed at 28.63 points higher, and the All Ordinaries closed at 27.67 points higher. Stories making headlines overseas. When we return, stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. Turning overseas, the cleanup has begun in the northern states in the U.S. that were hit by Hurricane Nate as it made landfall twice on the weekend. It was downrated to a tropical storm and weakened rapidly as it moved inland. That's the third storm to hit the Gulf of Mexico in the last 6 weeks.
Nate slammed into the Gulf twice last night as a Category 1 hurricane, drenching the Gulf and threatening the coast with a dangerous storm surge. In Mississippi, this highway flooded out by the rising water. The surge also inundating casinos in the area. This parking garage in Biloxi looked more like a lake. The vehicles left behind tossed like toys by the incoming waves. Nate made landfall twice, first in Louisiana, then a second time in Biloxi, Mississippi. In addition to the storm's 85-mile-per-hour hurricane-force winds, tornadoes were a major concern. At least 2 reportedly touched down, and a water spout was spotted off the coast of Alabama. Many people woke up to wet and windy conditions. More than 100,000 people in Alabama and Mississippi lost power.
In every storm, we've been very fortunate because we're close to the grid and we've had power all the time. But it was really a ferocious storm.
But still, much of the South is counting their blessings. New Orleans was spared, and most of the flood water is already receding. Now the cleanup can begin. People already working to clear debris. The fast-moving storm quickly made its way through the region, downgrading to a tropical storm and then just a depression shortly after striking land.
A rally calling for unity between Catalonia and Spain has attracted more than 350,000 people. Demonstrators in Spain marched through the streets of Barcelona amid speculations that the local government could be declaring independence in the coming week.
Catalans who oppose independence from Spain call themselves the silent majority. Today, they made a lot of noise.
We want to stay together. We don't want to break this country.
Everyone we spoke to here was Catalan, but people came from all over Spain in the name of Spanish unity. With the Spanish Prime Minister in a rare televised interview today.
Be absolutely reassured. The government will prevent any declaration of Catalan independence from turning into something real.
Maybe. But Catalans remain split over independence.
I'm worried that independence can happen in 48 or 72 hours, and I don't think I've heard a clear explanation of how things are going to work. I don't know if I'm going to be in Europe. I don't know if I'm going to be using the euro.
But ardent pro-independence Catalans aren't concerned. They're elated. They view the Spanish government as oppressive and identify with the Catalan language and culture, not Spanish.
The number of Catalans that want independence has been growing the last 4 or 5 years. We're waiting for that a long time, so I'm excited. Yeah.
Last week, Catalans held an independence referendum not recognised under Spanish law. But by now, the point for many Catalans, whatever their political persuasion, is to avoid deepening divisions between fathers and sons, colleagues and cousins. After days of colourful flag waving, a heartfelt plea for dialogue.
It's the perfect storyline for a horror movie, but for German and Brazilian tourists, their South Australian trip soon became a real-life nightmare. The two spoke out for the first time about their ordeal after being kidnapped while hitchhiking last year.
This video was supposed to capture a trip of a lifetime. Instead, it turned into a scene from a horror movie. Now backpackers Lena and Beatrice have revealed to 960 Minutes how their day of terror unfolded on a remote South Australian beach.
It will always be in my mind. I will always be reminded of it.
In February last year, the young Brazilian and German met in Adelaide and accepted a ride to Melbourne with Roman Hines. But they only got as far as Salt Creek, a trusting Beatrice following him into the sand dunes.
He said there were kangaroos. Would you like to go to see him? So, yes, why not?
It was there he launched his violent attack, stripping her naked at knife point, tying her up and sexually assaulting her.
Weird, but I didn't feel pain at that moment.
Lena heard her friend's screams and came to her rescue, but she too was attacked, repeatedly hit over the head with a hammer and rammed with a four-wheel drive.
I realised that I got weaker and weaker. When he turned around the next time and was facing me with the car, I pretty much jumped on the bonnet.
But she fell off again and again.
Totally insane. He wants to kill us.
At that time, the women barely knew each other, but they desperately fought and outsmarted their attacker to save themselves and each other.
This type of event, it will mark us forever.
Fishermen, locals and police eventually came to their aid.
You understand that you're under arrest?
These brave women forever linked by their courageous battle to conquer evil.
Up next in Trukai Sports, we wrap up the tour of the Rugby League World Cup in Central Province. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The Oil Search Trophy Tour ended its central trip and will move on to the last leg, which is the NCD Tour. The tour will resume tomorrow.
The Central Tour was launched at Kupianu Station by Central Governor Robert Agarobe. The trophy was welcomed by school children in the area. The trophy then visited Gavuone village, before being transported on a dinghy to Kelerakwa village. The trophy visited Maupa, Pelagai and Paramana along the Arama coast.
We visited the Arama coast, the villages of Gavuane, Kelerakwa, Pelagai, Paramana, and we have some rugby league stars who come from this area, so it was good to take the Paul Berry Trophy to the villages. The kids and the villagers alike were all excited. Trophy for an international event had gone down right down to visit them at their village level, and a lot of them thanked Oil Search for this opportunity, connecting their villages with an international event that is going to be held for many of them so far away from their villages.
The Central Tour saw the prestigious Paul Berry Trophy float down a banana raft at Golupu village, home of former Kumul's halfback Tony Killer.
It was an honor to the village, it was the first time for the village folks to take part in the organization of the World Cup Trophy, and they were all excited, and I think they are looking forward to the show this year.
The trophy was taken to Kwikila Station and was part of their local rugby league finals match. They visited Kwikila Secondary School, one of the oldest schools in Papua New Guinea. The trophy travelled along the Magi Highway down to Tubus area, home of current Kumul's captain David Mead. After visiting villages in the Abaurigo district, the Cup started its tour in the Kairuku Hiri district. As part of the Kokoda Track's 75th anniversary, the first stop was at Owes Corner, where the Cup was welcomed by Kairuku Hiri MP Peter Isoaimo. It was then taken on a road show to Sogeri. Their last stop was at Laloki, ending the Central Tour. Oil Search Communications Manager Ruth Warham says the trophy tour has been exciting, generating a lot of support for the PNG Kumuls.
I would like to take this opportunity to also thank companies that have partnered with us to make this tour a successful one. In Morobe Province, we had the support of Lay Biscuit Company, Mapai Transport, Harmony Gold and PNG Forest Products. In the Eastern Highlands, we had the support of Pacific Helicopters. In Hela, we had support from Kumul Petroleum Holdings Limited, and in New Island Province, we had the support of Newcrest Mining Limited. So I would like to sincerely thank all these companies for their support and for partnering with Oil Search to deliver this world-class event, bringing it right down to the grassroots level for people in the village to be able to see, feel, and touch a trophy that many of them would never have seen in their lifetime.
The trophy has been to different places over the past few weeks. The tour will end this Thursday before the trophy departs to Sydney on Friday.
Cronulla Sharks forward Andrew Fifita will be appearing in the Rugby League World Cup come November 11th with Tonga. Fifita notified coach Mal Meninga of his decision following the announcement of the Kangaroo squad earlier last week, where he was also named. He joins Warriors Jason Taumalolo in the Tongan outfit, while Penrith forward Regan Campbell-Gillard takes his place. Trukai Sports continues with cricket and football. Don't go away.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. To cricket, the Hebo PNG Barramundis are back on the second spot in the Division 2 ICC World Cricket League points ladder after yesterday's 5-wicket win over the Scots in their second one-day international round 6. This successful match saves them from losing their stronghold on the second spot, especially after their shocking 128 loss in their first ODI meet on Friday.
It's wide outside the off stump, and he's bowled in.
With the ICC Division 2 World Cricket League Championship nearing its end, the Hebo PNG Barramundis are hot on the heels of Netherlands on 16 points after winning 8 of the 12 matches. Unlike the competition leader, the Barras lost the other 4 while Netherlands lost 2 and tied in the other 2.
As Watt hits it down the ground.
Nonetheless, it was a close call for the Barras when they lost to Scotland on Friday. But the great comeback yesterday meant they have managed to stay a rank ahead of the Scots, who are right now on third, with only 6 wins to the name.
They're on the box seat, the Barramundis.
For now, the Barras campaign in the 2018 ICC World Cup qualifier looks promising as long as they maintain their presence in the top 2. They will meet Hong Kong again next month, this time in an effort to make a comeback as their meet last year ended with Hong Kong at the winning end.
Comes up to Valla, and Valla sweeps it beautifully.
The 2-year competition will conclude after round 7 next month, and the Barras meet with Hong Kong in the Emirates will be the last fight for the top spot. Dinero Raiko, National, EMTV Sports.
To football, imagine how it feels for teams who make it to the FIFA World Cup after years of missing out. Well, now fans in Egypt will know how it feels like after a 27-year drought.
Mohamed Salah lined up a penalty in the 5th minute of added time with the scores locked at 1-1 against Congo, with a chance to send his country to the World Cup for the first time since 1990.
Mohamed Salah, Allah, Allah.
Tears of joy in the commentary box, and they were pretty happy on the streets of Cairo as well, as football fans celebrated breaking their own 27-year drought.
And that ends Trukai Sports. The weather forecast up next.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Your weather forecast for tonight: in the southern region, mostly fine and sunny in Port Moresby, fine and windy in Daru, mostly fine although partly cloudy in Kerma, and becoming cloudy with a few showers in Alotau and Popondetta. In the Momasa region, cloudy with a few light rain showers in Lae, cloudy periods with light morning rain drizzle in Madang, cloudy periods with a chance of few showers in Wewak, and cloudy with a few showers in Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands region, cloudy with some rain showers in Lorengau and Kimbe, cloudy with thundery rain showers occurring in KVM, Kokopo, Rabaul and Buka. And in the Highlands region, morning fog clearing, then cloudy periods in all centres. Strong wind warnings for tonight and tomorrow. Strong wind warning current for all coastal waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait and Daru to Hood Point to all Milne Bay Islands and Cape Vogel, including Finschhafen through Vitiaz Dampier Strait to CRC to Long Island to West New Britain and Manus. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait and Daru to Hood Point to Samari Island, with waters of eastern and western Milne Bay Islands, with waters of Samari Island to Cape Vogel, to Finschhafen, and with waters of Finschhafen through Vitiaz Strait, Dampier Strait including CRC Islands to Long Island.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. With doing with Dulux.
And before we go, in news just in late this afternoon, Deputy Police Commissioner and Chief of Operations Jim Andrews this afternoon confirmed in a one-line media statement that he has suspended NCD Metropolitan Superintendent Ben Turi. DPC Andrews said Turi was suspended at 1 p.m. today for a period of 21 days over allegations of serious disciplinary offences. And that's the way it is this Monday, the 9th of October 2017. From the entire news team, I'm Helen Seah. Pleasant viewing. Good night.